launched by the U.S. Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office, the Boeing-built X-37B.
Military operations can be pretty intense, but things can get even more shocking when secret footage gets leaked.
How Chinese soldiers keep their posture by placing a pin.
In this video, I will walk you through the 20 leaked military videos that weren't meant to be seen. So prepare yourselves and let's dive in. Number 1. S-300 missile system failure. Russia has always tried to achieve the first position in creating weapons of destruction, including missiles such as the S-300 missile system. It's a long-range surface-to-air missile system developed by the Soviet Union. These missiles can take down aircraft, cruise missiles, and even ballistic missiles. The success rate of hitting the target with these missiles is quite high, about 90%. One of the most impressive feats of the S-300 is that it was the first ever missile system to destroy a Scud ballistic missile in flight. But in the past few years, some videos have surfaced showcasing how these missiles are not meeting expectations. As you can see in these videos, these S-300 are quite a catastrophe when they're launched into the air. On some occasions, these missiles either completely deviate from their route or just fall back after a short flight. Due to these failure videos, the countries who've bought these missiles from Russia are now questioning whether these missiles will actually save them when the time comes. These missiles are widely used by Ukraine, Bulgaria, Greece, China, and even Iran. In 2022, it was reported that an S-300 missile fired by Ukraine or Russia was found crashed in Poland, which is a massive question mark on the reliability of these weapons. Russia is clearly in big trouble and doesn't want these news and videos to get leaked and spread in the entire world, but it's too late for that now. Number 2. 2019 Iranian rocket launch failure. Iran has been facing quite a lot of problems in launching its rockets, especially in 2019, when even the third attempt to launch a rocket turned into a massive catastrophe. The image that you're currently seeing is a leaked photo of the launch site where the disaster occurred. The failed launch heavily affects the area, causing a massive burned area around the launch base. This image clearly shows the smoke blowing from the Imam Khomeini Space Center in northern Iran. Prior to this incident, Iran tried launching 2 more rockets in January and February, which also failed miserably because they couldn't reach the orbit, resulting in a massive financial loss. This image was actually taken from a commercial satellite owned by Maxar. This satellite takes high-resolution images of the Earth, which is an indirect way of spying on other countries. Since the release of this image by former US President Donald Trump, the satellite has been in danger of being the target of destruction. After all, this satellite is trespassing on other countries' privacy, and who would like it when their rocket failure is shown to the entire world without their consent? It's also worth mentioning that even after these failed attempts, Iran has not given up and is still trying its best to continue developing and innovating its rocket technology. Over the years, Iran has had many successful missions, but the image of 2019's failure has made a mockery of their space satellite missions. Number 3. Marine Afghan GoPro footage. The video footage you're about to see might be disturbing for some viewers, but it has to be one of the most crucial videos that reveals how the higher-ups try to cover things up. The video is taken from a GoPro of a Marine soldier in Afghanistan covering the attack on August 26, 2021 in Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul. The footage shows how a bomb blast in the background follows up with a series of multiple gunshots, eventually leading to the deaths of 13 American service members and over 170 Afghan civilians. Prior to the release of this footage, the Pentagon deceived this incident into an ISIS suicide bomb explosion and the terrorists firing and killing the soldiers and civilians. But later on, it was revealed that there were no terrorist attacks except the explosion, which was the only incident carried out by a single suicide bomber. So the question is, who was firing after the explosion? That's where the video comes in. The unseen footage reveals that there were at least 11 episodes of gunfire over a 4-minute window, totaling a minimum of 43 shots, which is far more gunshots than what the Pentagon acknowledged. A Marine eyewitness revealed a crucial detail about this incident, saying that the first gunshot after the explosion actually came from where U.S. Marines were standing near the blast site. You can see in the video that Marines quickly ran to take cover, while some even choked from the CS gas canister, which was shot by the Marines near the blast area. It's a complete disaster, but the Pentagon refused to admit that civilians were killed due to gunshot wounds. Now, we should also tell you that the Marines were not allowed to shoot, but the GoPro footage and eyewitness testimonies directly contradict the Pentagon's official narrative. The blast must have panicked the newly deployed troops, who opened fire and killed civilians in hopes of killing terrorists who were not even there in the first place. Number 4. Abu Gharib Pictures. The terrifying incident at Abu Gharib prison is one of the most notorious war crimes and human rights violations during the Iraq War. If you don't know about this incident, then here's a brief overview of this prison, or should we say, a hell where monsters preyed on innocent prisoners. Abu Ghraib was a notorious prison which was located in Baghdad, Iraq, taken over by the U.S. forces after their prolonged invasion in 2003. Here, thousands of Iraqis were kept in prisons by the U.S. military personnel and contractors. During the time it was active, there were many reports of the U.S. officers mistreating and even torturing the prisoners, but nobody raised any voice until on April 28, 2004, CBS News released shocking and graphic photographs showcasing the things that went on inside that jail. The images showed naked prisoners who were tortured and sexually harassed by both male and female officers. In one picture, you can see a naked Iraqi prisoner with a leash around his neck, held by a female officer named Lindy Rana England. Another photograph shows Sabrina Harmon and Charles A. Grainer Jr. forcing the prisoners to strip and form a human pyramid. The image of Abdul Hussein Saad Faleh shows him being tortured in a way that eventually made his photograph the face of the horrors that went on in Abu Ghraib. There are tons of images, and some are so graphic that we can't even show them on our channel without getting demonetized. Seeing these images sparks anger and a very disgusting feeling, making you think about how cruel someone can be to their own kind. From taking photographs while smiling with corpses to punching the prisoners and then first aiding them, then repeating the process once again, Abu Ghraib was a place where death was the only escape from the torture of those monsters. These officers, in the name of interrogation, crossed every line, forgetting that these people are also humans. All the military personnel who were involved in these heinous crimes were charged guilty of their crimes, but in truth, none of them faced justice the way they should have. It's also worth mentioning that in Abu Ghraib, torture was not the only thing. These officers murdered many prisoners and even raped them. But no matter how many lies are told, the truth stays firm, thanks to these horrifying photographs of monsters in the form of so-called soldiers. Number 5. Ghost tank. Have you heard of a ghost tank? If not, take a look at this footage from a Ukrainian drone, which captured an extremely sad and depressing scene. It's a tank that is going around in circles. You can guess it's been going like this by the tracks on the mud for quite some time. But what's the reason? Is the driver drunk or something? Well, it's actually because the crew inside the tank is dead. This tank belonged to the Russian crew, who the Ukrainians eliminated. Because of that, the tank moves on its own, making it a ghost tank. It'll keep on moving until it finally runs out of fuel. The same footage later shows a Russian soldier climbing up the tank to check on the crew inside, but unfortunately, he didn't notice the drone flying above him. The drone drops multiple grenades on the soldier, leading to another death, adding to the sad scene of how war destroys the lives of people forced to fight. Number 6. Kill Team. Take a good look at these soldiers whom we thought went to Afghanistan to put an end to the terrorists, but in reality, these people we call saviors are actually worse than terrorists. This is the kill team, who were originally the members of the 5th Striker Brigade stationed near Kandahar. These soldiers went on a killing spree, murdering innocent civilians and taking photographs with them, disrespecting them in every single way. Killing people was like an accomplishment, a feeling of joy for these so-called soldiers. They murdered even those who were not even involved in any conflict. All these pictures are of the members of the kill team, and just like Abu Ghraib, we can't show any explicit pictures of the heinous war crimes these soldiers have committed. The Pentagon tried its best to cover up these pictures, but the truth and crime can never be hidden, and these photos finally got leaked, revealing the horrors they committed in Afghanistan. The photos also included pictures of children, and according to reports, these soldiers even discussed how they would throw candies out of their vehicle and shoot anyone who came to pick them up. He used those scissors to cut off fingers from his kills as a trophy. These incidents clearly show the sick mindset of people if given the power and opportunity to do anything they want without being held accountable. Number 7. Israeli disguised as Palestinian protesters. We've all seen the Palestine and Israeli conflict over the years, especially in the recent years in which the war has officially broken out. Here's very shocking footage from a journalist who covered this incident where the Israeli soldiers deceived the Palestinian protesters by disguising themselves as Palestinians. As you can see in the beginning, the protesters who are throwing rocks at the soldiers to prevent them from entering their territory suddenly get ambushed by their own people. From the crowd, several men took out handguns and opened fire at the Palestinians, causing them to run away. Unfortunately, one of the protesters couldn't escape their ruthlessness and was beaten by 2 Israeli men. The Israeli soldiers soon reached the scene, one of whom kicked the protester who their disguised men were already beating. They then take that man back to their vehicles and arrest him. About 3 Palestinian protesters were injured, with one suffering from severe injuries. Number 8. North Korean escapees beaten. North Korea is one of those hellholes where people would prefer to die rather than live a life like a slave of one man only, Kim Jong-un. Living in North Korea is like living in the early 90s when there was no internet, old televisions, radios, and outdated cars compared to today's standards. The only TV shows that you can watch in North Korea are always about the only star, the only actor, Kim Jong-un. So can you live there? Absolutely not, right? Well, that's the same for many people who tried to escape the country but failed to do so, while some even succeeded. Now, here's footage of a family taken from a documentary named Soul Train. The video shows the family's journey to escape North Korea by stepping onto Japanese land, where they would be able to escape this prison. There are a total of 4 adults and a toddler who left the safe house and rushed towards the gates. The Chinese border guards immediately tried to stop them, but unfortunately, only 2 male adults were able to succeed in their mission, while the guards caught a male, the mother, and the toddler. The woman cries and begs the guards to let them pass through as she struggles to release herself from their grips. What scares us the most is what happens once they get caught and sent back to their country. It's highly likely that they will be executed or will be sent to those infamous labor camps, which is also a sort of death sentence. Number 9. Pentagon UFO videos. We all have always believed that the government is always trying to hide extraterrestrial life, such as aliens from us like Area 51. However, the declassified videos leaked from the Pentagon's secret databases make those alien theories much more believable. U.S. Navy personnel captured the videos from a flyer during training missions in 2004 and 2015. They showcase a jet targeting an unidentified aerial object which you may call a UFO. These videos were initially leaked in 2007 and 2017, raising several questions about whether they are genuine or just a government agenda. Later in 2020, the Pentagon officially declassified 3 videos, confirming their authenticity and releasing them to the public. The first video, taken in November 2004, shows a jet following a strange flying object with astonishing speed as it hovers above the water. The object remains in sight until it flies away rapidly, leaving everyone in shock. The second and third videos were captured in January 2015 and showed the same phenomenon as the first video, an object hovering over the water, rapidly moving across the sky, and even spinning mid-air. The pilots who witnessed this experience described this object as something that could defy the laws of physics and accelerate to unimaginable speeds. The researchers presented numerous theories and explanations to uncover this phenomenon. Some even suggested that it could be just a human observation error, but nobody could reveal what this object truly was. These videos have gained massive interest worldwide and have intrigued space society with the possibility of another life that exists away from Earth. Number 10. Boeing X37. Boeing X37, aka the Orbital Test Vehicle, OTV, was supposed to be a secretive project by Boeing Defense, Space, and Security. NASA developed the X-37 in 1999 as the world's first functioning reusable spaceplane for testing future spaceflight technologies. In 2004, NASA transferred its plane to the U.S. Department of Defense. The plane's intriguing capabilities allow it to operate in a low Earth orbit of approximately 150 to 500 miles above the Earth. It also comprises highly advanced technologies and a lightweight and heat-resistant structure, making it a reusable plane that can be sent on missions for several days and even months. The X-37 was revealed when several pictures and videos of the plane showing the robotic spacecraft in flight were leaked to the public. Since then, it has become the center of attention worldwide. People speculate about the purpose of this plane, and over the years, numerous videos have emerged giving details and more close-up shots of this fabulous flying machine. The X-37 has had several successful missions over the years, boasting how capable this plane is. But why would they keep it hidden from the world? Number 11. Soldiers, Cuhas taxi. Here's another footage of U.S. soldiers abusing their power to bully Iraqi civilians who can't even live freely in their own country. These so-called soldiers caught this group of Iraqis who were looting wood from the rubble, and due to that, these soldiers decided to ruin the life of the poor taxi driver. They shot his car several times with their handguns, then finally ended it by crushing it with their tank. The driver couldn't do anything but watch as the soldiers bullied him for something that was nowhere close to considered a crime. You can see how happy the soldiers are after passing their so-called judgment by taking away the source of income from a man who's already been going through much. Number 12. Queen's Guard. Fainted. The job of the Queen's Guard has to be one of the hardest jobs in the world. These soldiers have to follow a strict schedule without any errors. But in the end, these people are also humans, which can lead to situations like this. In this video, a Queen's Guard can be seen fainting on the ground. The guard must have had a long day of work, and this must be his breaking point. The guard regains consciousness and gets back up to fulfill his role. The two guards beside him support him. Thankfully, the other guards in different uniforms rush towards him. They quickly try to put the guard on the structure, but the guard walks away with their help so he can receive immediate medical attention. Number 13. C17 Crash. This video captures a terrifying incident that occurred on July 28, 2010, when a C-17 Globemaster III crashed right after taking off at Elmendorf Air Force Base in Alaska. It was a transport airplane that belonged to the USAF practicing for an Arctic Thunder air show. There were a total of 4 people on board, and none of them survived the crash, making it a fatal incident that resulted in casualties and a massive financial loss. The investigation of the airplane concluded, blaming the pilot who caused the low-altitude stall that led to the terrifying crash. Everything was recorded on this camera, and the public saw and shared their opinions on how the overconfidence of the pilot led to the deaths of 4 people. Number 14. U.S. Navy SEAL. Team 7. The U.S. Navy SEAL Team 7 is one of the most notorious Navy SEALs who are famous for their war crimes in Afghanistan. Upon investigation, The members of Team 7 declared their platoon leader, retired Special Operations Chief Eddie Gallagher, as an evil and toxic man who had no mercy for the people he interrogated. The members even described the incident where Gallagher pulled out a knife and stabbed a teen boy who was accused of being a member of ISIS. The body cam footage of the scene was also revealed, which showed an almost fainted teen lying on the ground while Gallagher tossed the boy over the side before the cameras switched off. Number 15. The tea is fantastic. The incident that took place on February 27, 2019, is one of the most iconic moments in the history of both the Pakistani and Indian armies. Abhinandan Varthaman, an Indian Air Force pilot whose MiG-21 fighter jet was shot down by a Pakistani F-16 fighter jet due to trespassing. The Pak army later saved him from the angry mob as his plane crashed on their territory. A clip from his investigation surfaced online, becoming an internet sensation under the iconic phrase, "The tea is fantastic." The video shows the army investigating the pilot. Abhinandan answers their questions and expresses his gratitude to the army for their excellent treatment and hospitality towards someone who trespassed on their territory. It's one of the most iconic videos posted on the internet, showing how things should be handled without being aggressive. Number 16. Chinese pins in soldiers' uniforms. The Chinese army is known for their strict rules in the army. The soldiers must maintain a great and synchronized posture, but nobody saw another dark side of their training until this picture, posted on Twitter, surfaced, showing sharp needles being placed on their collars. These needles force them to maintain a straight posture, which is actually fact rather than a rumor. The Chinese government really goes to such lengths to maintain discipline in their armies. It's even painful to watch how anyone could stand straight without looking down for such a long period of time. Number 17. Alcatraz, Last Prisoners. Leaving. These cottages from 1963 are one of the most important crucial videos that captured a historical moment when the notorious prison Alcatraz was shutting down. It was the first time journalists were ever allowed to cover the prison from the inside, including its cells, where thousands of prisoners spent years of their lives. The video also covered the last prisoners finally leaving the island, saying goodbyes to the hell that went inside that place. Alcatraz was once home to numerous notorious prisoners, from drug lords to serial killers. It was a place where demons lived, which finally ended for good. Number 18. Bombings in Syrian city. This series of shocking videos captures the horrors that the Syrian people experienced during the war. The video shows multiple bombs raining from the sky, followed by a cloud of dust and a loud blast, destroying everything in the impact area. It's worth knowing that these bombs were dropped on civilians rather than on terrorists or any military bases, resulting in the deaths of innocent people who are just suffering the consequences of the war. Number 19. Central Government War Headquarters. The footage you're seeing is of the secretive bunkers built for the UK's Emergency Government War Headquarters to house all the government officials in case of a nuclear war. The bunker was built underground and spans around 35 acres of land. Throughout its functioning, it acquired different names, such as Stockwell, Subterfuge, and Burlington. The complex remained hidden for quite some time, but its existence was revealed. Number 19. Central Government War Headquarters, War Plan, UK. The bunker could house up to 4,000 people, keeping them completely separated from the outside world. It played a crucial role during the Second World War, and now it's just a historical landmark as an unused war headquarters. Number 20. Israeli soldiers blowing up mosques. For fun, here's another sickening compilation of the videos shot by the Israeli troops blowing up mosques and other buildings owned by the Palestinian people. Their war crimes are out on the surface, showcasing their hatred towards the Palestinians. You can see how they have fun and look so happy after blowing up the buildings. These soldiers upload the videos to TikTok as some sort of accomplishment without feeling remorse. That's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed watching today's video. Hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you won't miss out on our new content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.